pre-open rates. Let me also welcome on board Chandan Taparia and ask him about what exactly has been going on with the cash settlement. Chandan, your thoughts on how bizarre the rates were in terms of what the spot markets closed at and where exactly the cash session closed in?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Like yesterday was the first trading day of the new CS system, uh, closing auction session. So as per that, uh, 350 was the normal trading for cash counter, which are the FNO part of the FNO segment. And we have noticed that 315 to 320 was the transition period, and 320 to 335 people were ordered for the buying and selling, but we have seen very less participation in that. And as per the data setup circulated by NSE, only 1276 crore of participation was there in the NSE, while BSE participation was around 11 crore. So because of the lesser liquidity in CS mechanism, the spot price of certain counter, which are the part of the Nifty, moved higher. And because of that, we have seen spot price inching higher towards 24,770 marks, but future, which was continued till 340, remain at the same zone. So today, we believe that spot will be lower, and again, there will be parity between the spot price and the future price. Now, what we need to keep in mind, that first thing, that in CS system or CS trading mechanism, one can put the order of 3% higher or lower. But yesterday being the first day, liquidity and participation was less. So in few heavyweights name, 3% higher order were taken as they got the match between the best buyer and seller of the highest trading activities. Now we need to keep in mind that again it's going to be the second day, but liquidity will be lesser comparatively. So those who are trading in future and option segment, being the weekly expiry, try to exit your position before 3 or max till 3:15 to avoid this price movement, which may happen because of the lesser participation. But as a this mechanism, I believe, is good for long term, because there will be the fair and transparent price discovery of the closing of the future segment.
Chandan, Nifty and Sensex showing a divergent in pre-open. The Sensex is up 1%, Nifty almost flat. Is that a correction that we are seeing for the Sensex?
Yeah, so yesterday, if you notice, Nifty was up by around 1.6% in sport, and Nifty future was up by around 0.87%, while Sensex was up by around 0.7%. So closing divergence was there between Sensex and Nifty because of higher CAS price in selective counter. So now there is the correction or parity between the Sensex and Nifty. So as global market is higher, so market should move higher. So Sensex is higher because of that, but Nifty already moved because of the closing mechanism. So that will be comparatively lower or flattish. So that's why we are seeing such kind of divergence in the opening price in the market.
Okay. Chandan, some movers of yesterday, and let's try and pull out what they're doing in trade today. Muthoot Finance and AB Capital was the other one, and Divi's. Any views on either of these three?
Yeah, so like first, let me comment on the AB Capital, one of the strongest counter. We have seen huge buying interest in this name. Recently, it has given a consolidation breakout on the daily and the weekly chart. It has given a decisive hold above 410, 420 marks. So I believe this momentum could continue. The good part is that after hitting the high, it witnessed some cool off from higher levels. So buy on decline could continue with support of 412. Look for an upside target towards 445. Looking at Divi's Lab, one of the strongest pharma name, has been making a top side bottom. We believe momentum could continue. One can hold the long position. On upside, we are looking the extension of target towards 8652, 8700. One can buy with support of 8200. So positive view on the AB Capital and Divi's Lab. And talking about Muthoot Finance, which is trying to bottoming out, but some volatility is clearly visible. So wait in Muthoot Finance, but one can continue to hold the long position or can go for buy on decline in Divi's and AB Capital.
Just looking at some of the movers from yesterday, and let's check in on what the frontline names are up to and whether you're seeing as exaggerated a move as was the case yesterday. on the likes of an ICICI Bank or for that matter, HDFC Bank or some of the IT counters as well, while the Nifty is still trying to find its feet and it's getting a little soft there. It's flat for ICICI Bank, marginally higher for HDFC Bank, around 754 odd levels. And of course, the block deal stocks are active. I want to check in on LIC as well. Post the OFS, the stock started off lower by about almost, I think, 8% or so. Now that the block deal has happened, you will see some amount of pressure on the stock today, given that this OFS is coming at almost a 10 to 11% discount to yesterday's close. DLF as well, wherein the pre-sales have come in lower by 83% on a sequential basis. There are no new launches during the quarter that they have seen. DLF as well under pressure, 2% lower as we speak. What about Dabur? Given that the FSSAI has now directed the company to cease the sale of products which are carrying misleading 100% claims, Dabur is not really having any impact. Paytm, let's check in on that stock. SAIF Partners, remember, was going to trim its current holding. A 5% discount to yesterday's close. Paytm up about 2% as we speak right now. There was Meesho as well. That block deal too has happened. Let's check in on that name. And then Arvind Limited as well, which is likely to raise about 500 crore rupees via the QIP route. That's the other stock which is in focus as well. Earnings reactions from a Torrent Power, wherein the margins are flat. Profit has seen a dip of about 11%. Texmaco Rail as well came out with its numbers. EBITDA downtick of 19.6%. Margins have come in flat at about 8%. DOMS and Kims as well are the other ones which have posted disappointing numbers. But iRadar has posted some good set of numbers. The PPOP has seen an uptick of 24%, NI uptick of 24%. For Gulf Oil as well, and we're going to be chatting with the management as well in the due course of the day. For GE Shipping, there's a significant margin expansion that they've seen. KEI Industries as well, Q1 numbers above estimates, margins at 12.4 are definitely a beat, and that stock holds higher by a solid 3.5% as we speak right now. And for SBI Funds, it's clearly, continuing to be the market leader by AUM. The equity AUM has now grown 2% on a sequential basis. So good going for SBI funds over there. Kansai Nerolac, that also came out with its numbers. Stovecraft as well, solid numbers there. EBITDA jump up of 52%. So all of these stocks we're keeping on our radars, this morning. But still awaiting for the Nifty and the Sensex parity to perhaps reduce. And now it's indicative of about 80 odd points lower for the Nifty, 24,699. I don't remember the last time the pre-open rates, Kunal, were that active. It's moving with every tick.
Yeah, I think in the last few days, at least, we never used to watch the pre-open rates because the markets used to adjust itself. But I think this time it could be a little bit different. And there's bound to be, I think, today at the open, that disparity between the Nifty and the Sensex opening because of the close which happened yesterday for both the indices. So something very interesting to see.
The difference is around 0.7% only.
0.7%. Correct. That's the gap.
It's interesting to see how today's cash session would be on expiry day, especially the options expiry which is going to come in there. But Kunal, aside of that, do you see banking stocks, especially the HDFC and ICICI Bank, moving today or being volatile today?
So not about today, but I think over the last many days we've seen Bank Nifty actually underperforming the benchmark Nifty 50, and on a relative strength basis also there has been that tad bit of an underperformance which has come from the private sector banking names. The PSU banking lot apparently has seen some bit of pickup from their maybe a couple of weeks low. SBI, for example, formed a low of 1,020.30. That stock has come back around a couple of percentage points higher. PNB, Union Bank, etc. I think these stocks have lifted off from their last few days of swing lows. But then I think that's the best way to try and put this scenario for the Bank Nifty, because the dependence on the private sector banking names, larger cap stocks, is still acting a lot of heaviness, and the underperformance on those large cap front is acting as a cap for the Bank Nifty with any kind of a rally which the index has seen.
Okay, you've got all of those blocks coming in, and you've got Paytm, of course, which has there's been around a 2.2% exchange in terms of the equity base, 2,000 crore odd in terms of the value of the equity exchange on Paytm, and 1.8% is what the indicative rates seem to be suggesting on a Paytm. There's also Meesho. And Meesho as well. You've seen a block deal which has come through nearly 2,000 crore in terms of the block deal size on Meesho. I'll quickly also pull out the stake, which is, so roughly 2.3 odd percent on Meesho as well in terms of the block. And that too indicating around a 0.5% uptick in the stock price. LIC, on the other hand, let's quickly pull that one up as well. And you've got that OFS and an 8.5% knock on the stock price as a result of that. Any of these names on your radar, Kunal, in terms of the moves?
Not really. I think Meesho, for example, the stock has been sub 200, hardly any major kind of a trend. There was a phase where I think the stock had climbed back about 200 plus levels, but then largely I think the stock has been range bound on a pivot range, but I think it's been very volatile across this 180, 190 band. LIC, apparently the stock in the last, I think, few days was trying to make a comeback above the long-term averages. It had come very closer towards a breakout, but maybe I think after today's price cut, the stock would slip back below the long-term averages. And then, it starts off into that grind back again. So we need to see if intraday the stock shows any kind of a recovery. Even if it closes, say, a couple of percentage points lower, then I would still believe that that will be a very good comeback of sorts for LIC.
Lot of blocks. Let me quickly take it across to Mithali and get in details and all of those. Mithali?
Right, so let's start first with Paytm. So nearly 2.9% equity hands has been changed for a total of 2,038 crore rupees. While for Meesho, 2.9% equity percentage has been changed hands, and nearly 1949 crores, 1950 odd crore rupees of a bulk deal, block deal happening here as well. While Poonawala's will also be in focus, 0.34% equity swap has been done for nearly 223 odd crore rupees of this transaction. While LIC, keep that stock also on your radar, as the government of India has launched an offer for sale for an offer price of 382 rupees, which is a 10.75% discount if you see from the last closing price, and the base offer is around 12,000 odd crore rupees. With the green shoe option, if included, will be total up to 21,400 crore rupees. Also, it comes at with the discounted value. If you see the LIC's enterprise value, that ratio price to enterprise value will come down from 0.69 times to 0.61 times, offering a much better and discounted valuations to the investors. So all these stocks will be on your radar in today's trading session.
Thank you so much for that, Mithali. 0.61 times embedded value is at the lower end of the band for LIC at 382 apiece. That's, of course, a near 11% discount to the close yesterday. The stock, obviously, late minutes now of pre-open, but we'll wait for the open today, especially showing a downtick of 8.5%. Let's pull up some of the other buzzers. And there's a KEI Industries. That stock is doing well, at least in pre-open, 3.5% higher on a KEI. There's Kansai Nerolac. That one is also up 1.5% odd in terms of at least the pre-open rates. In terms of the other buzzers, also versus yesterday and that are holding up, there's Urban Company, 1.5% in terms of the hold up. Not much on some of the other buzzers. In fact, Divi's is actually down 1.6 odd percent versus yesterday's, or rather on top of yesterday's move. I want to also highlight a Unimech Aerospace. That one is up 6.4%, the defense counter and defense and aerospace business, and 6.5% uptick on the back of a 750 crore rupee fundraise that they are looking to tap into. Ethos was the other big mover, absolutely flat in terms of the open. I want to also try and pull out some nifty names, and especially from the IT pack, because that was the pack which was buzzing again yesterday. Kunal, what do you make of the nifty IT? And of course, today not looking entirely pretty, but of course, yesterday's adjustments also to be factored, right?
Yeah. So I think, and after a 20% kind of an up move for the IT index, you're bound to see few of the stocks taking a bit of a rest. But that doesn't mean that you might probably expect that these stocks may come back and retest their previous lows unless there is any kind of a major data point which is negative. I think we've seen a blend of positive price volume action for the IT stocks and the IT index at large in the last month. July has been sort of a turnaround month for the IT index because Many of these stocks have come back from their major lows. Infosys was almost at sub 1,000. That stock has seen a good recovery of 15% approximately. TCS has managed to rally by a similar or slightly better margin. Tech Mahindra, HCL Tech has done reasonably well. From the mid-cap IT names, you've seen Coforge being one of the standout performers in the last couple of months. So there are a lot more positives for the IT stocks, and that's where I would be bullish on.
Okay, that's the take coming in on IT. Just 24 seconds left to go before we ring the opening bell for this morning. We'll get on board Chandan as well and talk about what the opening rates are indicating. But yes, counting down, let's first see what the index rates settle in at, both the Nifty Bank as well as the Nifty, given the kind of aberration that played out on day one of the CAS move. There you go, the first trades coming in this morning. 0.5% lower, drifting a little bit more, but still holding on to that 24,600 level in trade. It's a sharper dip coming in for the Nifty Bank, while the Sensex is still mildly in the positive. So that divergence between the Nifty and the Sensex is still very much at play. You don't typically see that other than the pre-open rates, but it is continuing even in the normal session. 1% lower for the Nifty Bank. Let's see what the sectoral color is like for the Nifty indexes and whether IT, New Age, etc. are still beginning to hold out. Nifty Realty, in my sense, is DLF would have been the drag over here. We'll come to individual stocks in just a bit, but private banks, FMCG, IT, oil and gas, Nifty metals, defense, it's all a sea of red there. Having said that, fortunately, other than Realty, you're not seeing any deep gashes emerge. Let's first start off with the Nifty composites. Let me check in on the Nifty Bank constituents first. ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, and what these names are currently doing in trade, and whether or not you're seeing some weakness come by over there. 1.25% lower, that's HDFC AMC. HDFC Bank is only mildly soft. ICICI Bank will just come up for you on your screens next. And then, of course, Axis, Kotak, SBI. Let's revisit the other heavyweights as well from within the banking pack. And it's all about 1% to a little bit soft, trailing in the red as we speak right now. What about the IT movers, Infosys, TCS, Wipro and the likes, whether they're comforting the index at all or not? And there too you are sensing some amount of weakness come by. 1.25% lower for TCS too as we speak right now. Interglobe Aviation, Shriram Finance, Bajaj Finserv, the movers of late, crude sensitives, earnings reactions all combined. And today too, most of these rates are looking a little bit sedate, other than perhaps Bajaj Finance. It's marginally in the green, but again, the big moves have already happened in the last 2 days, so taking a bit of a breather, no doubt about that. What about the advanced decline ratio? Given how impressive the market breadth was yesterday, is that being able to hold out or not? The advanced decline ratio will just come off for you on your screens. The Nifty Mid and the Small Cap Index will come up for you on your screens next. Let's check in now then on what's happening on LIC firstly. The government launching that OFS to pair up to that 6.5% stake, 8% lower for LIC, 394, given that the floor price was at 11% discount to yesterday's close. For DLF as well, it's a bit of a disappointing quarter. The pre-sales are lower by about 83% on a sequential basis, 2.25% lower for DLF as we speak. Also some weakish numbers coming in from a Torrent Power, from a Texmaco Rail. There's DOMS as well and KIMS, wherein the profits are lower by a good 47% and margins have come in lower at 18.9% versus a comparable of a tad above 22%. So these are some stocks in focus. The block deal candidates, let's check in on those. Your Paytm, Meesho, and then of course that fundraise for Arvind Limited as well. And then Dabur, what is that stock up to given the FSSAI directive now to seize the sale of food products carrying that misleading 100% claims? 2.5% lower for Dabur as we speak right now. Good going then for SBI funds, Escorts, and we're going to be chatting with Bharat Madan as well shortly. They've raised their FY27 tractor industries outlook to now mid-single digit growth from marginal growth as well levels. So that, of course, is one stock which is in focus. Piramal Pharma has resumed operations at their Sanand unit after the flooding good numbers from IREDA. Gulf Oil has come out with good numbers. GE Shipping has, come out with good set of numbers. For KEI Industries too, it's turned out to be a beat wherein the Q1 numbers are above estimates. And then also KEC International has bagged orders worth about 1,063 odd crore rupees. Good numbers from Sami Hotels, from a Thomas Cook, from a Stovecraft, and Kansai Nerolac as well. Despite the volatility in crude prices, it's managed to hold out. But Chandan, what's your take? And firstly, let's get a trade on the Nifty, because that aberration with the Sensex is still holding out.
Yeah, yes, let me explain about the opening. So we need to keep in mind that yesterday Sensex was up by around 0.6% and Nifty Sport was much higher than the Sensex because of CS system. As per the recent trend, the ratio between Sensex to Nifty, which has 99.5% correlation, was 3.2. But yesterday, because of the mispricing or because of the CS system, the ratio gone to 3.7. But now the equilibrium is back to 3.2. Right now, your Sensex is quoting at 770 and Nifty Sport is quoting at 24,600. So it has come to the exact ratio of 3.2, which is the trend as of now. So I believe there is the equilibrium now between the Sensex and the Nifty Sport. Now talking about Nifty to Nifty future, yesterday as Sport moved up, but future was lower because of the CS system. And yesterday opening level, the future was quoting at premium of 60 points. Now again, the future is trading at premium of around 60 points. So I believe now equilibrium is there. And from the current zone, whatever the Nifty and Sensex of the future, market will take the cue as per the demand and supply. But we need to keep in mind that again around 315, what kind of mechanism and liquidity will be there in the closing auction session, that will be important. So suggestion will be better to keep the position light for expiry trade setup or the option trading. Now talking about the market view, the trend is positive. Index has been making high top, high bottom. However, we need to keep in mind that those who are looking at the chart will consider today's candle or will give more weightage to the previous day big bullish candle. But I'll consider this as a formation of high tops, high bottom as of now. And I believe till Nifty holds above 24,444. Technical perspective, market looks bullish for the next leg of move towards 24,750 to 24,800 marks. Talking about Bank Nifty index, Bank Nifty comparatively slightly down, has been moving in a previous day trading range. Major support is near 57,500 marks for a bounce towards 58,000 to 58,250.
If you can bring up that contribution chart that we were showing, and that's an interesting thing because we spoke about it in the morning, how the divergent happened. Look at what's happening. ICICI Bank, Reliance, Infi, HDFC, and in the others you have Axis and other counters who are correcting sharply because they were the ones who brought up the entire equilibrium price for the Nifty yesterday by 200 odd points in the last 5 odd minutes which of trading that happens. So that correction what we are seeing in these 4 or 5 benchmarks, which accounts for roughly around 40% of Nifty weightage, is where we are seeing the first correction coming in when the market opened. Kudan?
Yeah, and so I was just looking at the contribution plate, Grasim, Titan, Bajaj Auto, Dr. Reddy. These are the other names which are actually the ones which are actually seeing a lot of initial impact, especially after yesterday's cash. So I think the effect, what we are seeing on the contribution plate also, that 116 points which has been contributed on the negative side from the other category. It's the set of stocks which had actually closed with a huge gap yesterday on the cash session.
Chandan, coming straight back to you, today is also the weekly expiry. How should one position oneself, if you can give us a perspective?
So again, like yesterday, we have seen the price divergence because of the closing auction session. So I believe we don't have that much liquidity. We market need to digest, and there will be the difference between the closing and the opening. But I believe some liquidity might be there in day. But as of now, the suggestion is try to look future price more than the spot price, because the CS system is applicable in case count, which are the part of FNO, but FNO trading will continue. So for any kind of price movement, if you are looking the chart, try to look at the future chart to understand your option value, whether you look at the price behavior and the delta. I think that will give you better clarification, the reflection, compared to looking at the hold to at 315 and see a system from 320 to 335. That is the first suggestion. And second suggestion is better to keep the position light after 315 to avoid any kind of a swing because of the CS system.
Making sense because Reliance is only marginally soft in the futures. HDFC Bank as well is down only 0.2%. SBI as well marginally lower, again 0.2 lower. TCS Infosys are down about 0.8% or so. Unilever is down. SBI Life is down 1.7%, and that's the only rank underperformer, so to speak. Other than that, Kotak Bank, Axis Bank, Hindalco, Bajaj Auto, Adani Ports, Shriram Finance, Eternal, all of these stocks are gainers. But the top one, of course, is KEI Industries, 6% higher for that stock. On the losing side, it's UPL, IREDA, and LIC. But